First rounds. Remington R51. Atlanta Arms, 115 grain. 5 shots. First shots. Alright, loaded chamber in the Decatur. Here goes. The pistol that I'm going to review is already a pistol that has had a lot of reviews, and people have already strong opinions about the pistol. But I wanted to share my personal experience about the pistol and kind of add my 2 cents, as it were. But I don't think that my take on this pistol is going to be very different from most people's take. It seems to be a trend, and it seems to be pretty consistent as to how this pistol performs. So I don't think this review is going to be groundbreaking, but I wanted to contribute to the general consensus around this pistol. So the pistol is, of course, the R51 Gen 2. Now, a little bit of history about how I ended up getting the pistol and why I had it to review, even after the history of the R51 and Remington trying to get one out. Originally, when Remington announced the R51, I was very interested in the R51. I liked the design, I liked the look, I liked the aesthetic, I liked all of the little promo videos that they released. I liked the concept. It looked like a cool little space gun with a single stack 9, and I think this was before even the Glock 43 came out, or right at the same time. So the idea of a metal aluminum single stack 9 with cool ergos and with the ability for you to manipulate the slide one-handed for like women shooters or whatever, that really appealed to me at the time. I did not have my Glock 43 at the time. I like the grip safety concept. Everything about the pistol, the features on paper, I really liked. And I liked the look. I liked the space gun. I liked that they were bringing the Penderson design. Almost all my other pistols are Browning locking lug design, so I'm kind of a sucker for anything that's not Browning locking lug. I kind of like the curios, and I thought maybe that I could carry it. I know that I thought it'd be a good carry pistol, because that's kind of how they were selling it at the time. Of course, the pistol comes out. It's a giant, whatever. It is a bust. It is a lemon. They recall them all up, and the gun disappears for a year. I had been following the pistol. I'm not really an early adopter too much. You could argue maybe with the Hudson I am, but actually the history of this pistol sort of impacts the Hudson and why I went ahead and bought the Hudson. But let me finish my story if you're interested. If not, I'll let you skip to, the actual review. So the pistol disappears, goes off the market, can't be had. They do a recall. Some people have them and like them. I mean, there's occasional ones out there that work, but for the most part, they're duds, right? So at this point, I'm kind of thinking like, man, even if I had one that didn't work, if this thing goes away forever, it would be such a bummer to have not ever even had the chance to have a crappy piece, a crappy pistol that, has this unique design. And maybe I would have got one that worked. So I'm kind of regretting not getting the Gen 1 at this point. So they announced the Gen 2. Gen 2 comes out, and I'm like, I'm going to have to take a chance on this, because the price point is expensive-ish for what it was. But at the time, I was like, I mean, it's not like an $800 pistol, right? It was $300-ish. And I was like, I'm going to take a chance on this because it's reasonably inexpensive. And I know that's, all relative. But I was like, it's reasonably inexpensive. If I end up one that's a piece of crap, it'll be a collector's item, right? Because it'll fail commercially and I'll get one. If I get one that works, maybe I'll really like it. So I went down to Georgia Fire Line and I said, get me one. And they said, are you sure? And I said, yeah, give me one. And they said, are you sure? And I said, yes, I'm aware of you know, all the problem. Get me one. And they said, okay, we'll do it. Got one in the mail. Didn't pay too much, but paid, you know, pretty close to MSRP, I guess. Gen 2, I did kind of wait a couple months after the Gen 2s came out before I made the decision, which I'm proud of myself for doing. Go down to the FFL and go pick it up. I'm pretty impressed with it when it comes out of the box. I mean, the box is okay. It's just a cardboard box. But the pistol itself, the finish was good. The fit was pretty good. You know, it was an attractive little pistol. It didn't have any flaws, machining flaws. It felt good in the hand. It had a good weight to it. Came with 2 magazines. You know, if you just saw it in a line of pistols and you picked it up, you'd be like, wow, this is a really nice pistol. I really like this. So I was hopeful. I was like, all right, we got to go put some rounds down this. So I don't remember whether or not I shot it first and then broke it down, or broke it down and then shot it. But I'm pretty sure I broke it down to oil it, clean it, check it out before I even got a chance to shoot it. So I did that, and it is incredibly difficult to break down this pistol. It is a pain, and it pretty much requires 3 hands to do it. You have to pull on the barrel and hold back the slide and push out the pin and slide it forward, and then reassembly is even worse. Reassembly is even much harder. The spring, the recoil spring, provides a tremendous amount of pressure on some of those parts, and the parts are soft enough to where you will actually gouge some of them with the really sharp edges. You'll gouge the parts until you get it together correctly. It was ridiculous how not only were your fingers in danger and you needed someone to help you put it together, but if you didn't have it together completely, it would actually like gouge parts and lock up even more. So very unhappy with the breakdown process and the takedown process. You would not be able to field strip that gun. At this point, I'm thinking like, wow, okay, so it's an attractive pistol, but the inside of it is kind of a mess. Let's hope that it holds up, because I think at this point I had basically dry fired it a little bit, and I was already showing wear. So, you know, my enthusiasm has now been tempered after trying to field strip it. But I'm like, all right, let's see if I got a good one. Let's go to the Grange. Let's go put some rounds down it. So at this point, you know, I'm just going to show you the footage of me shooting it. This will just be raw footage. You know, I'm using pivot heads and shooting the first 150 out of it. First rounds, Remington R51, Atlanta Arms, 115 grain, 5 shots, first shots. Alright, loaded chamber indicator, here goes. All low, but functioned. Second magazine, 5 rounds. Alright, nice. First time fully loaded, 7 rounds in each magazine. Gotta shoot them right after the other. Really beating up that knuckle right there. Woo. So it's definitely more of a holdover pattern. This was 5 shots slow, and this was 7 shots slow. Freestyle, 15 feet. All right, this is the final mag of the first box.
Ripping about where you are on it.
It's pretty abrupt. Alright, first jam. This is a weird one. Looks like we're that far into box number 2 with 7 here. I have no idea how that happens. Maybe it bounced off the wall. I don't know, but came out. The second one came out with it. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if it will fire the rest of the mag. It did. Let me load this one up. It's the one that came out with it. Got a nice little indent right there. Well, there you go. Malfunction number 2. That is a booger. Look at that. I don't even know how that happens. So that's, now we got double feed. Strip the mag out. Now I got one. That was a horrendous malfunction.
Wow.
You got a new toy?
I like it. But it is tight.
It's rough on. So, as you saw, I was getting failures to extract, and with those failures to extract, I was getting double feeds that went along with it. Incredibly disconcerting malfunctions. Just locking up the pistol completely. Even if you tried to lock back and then rack the slide, no guarantee that that would have fixed the malfunction. That aside, malfunctions aside, it was just an uncomfortable pistol to shoot. And by that I mean it beat up the knuckle on my thumb, and then the recoil, and I wasn't shooting like super hot, you know, plus P plus stuff. I was shooting Atlanta Arms 115 grain. You saw the box. And I was shooting it, and it was snappy recoil, and which was good in a way that the sights settled back, right? But you know, it was a compact pistol with a metal frame, aluminum frame, but that with the ergos was painful to shoot almost. And honestly, I was very disappointed with how little recoil the heavier frame soaked up. Because if you lay the R51 next to a Glock 19, they are roughly the same size. The Glock 19 is obviously double stack versus a single stack, which again is one of those things where, you know, that's a disadvantage of the R51. But if you look at the size, the pistol should have shot more comfortably than it did. So the pistol is single stack, made of metal, not even that small, and still doesn't soak up the recoil of a 9mm not plus P, just like regular target loads. So between the malfunctions and just how unpleasant it is to shoot, it kind of got stuck in the closet for a while, honestly. I just stuck it in the closet for like 2 months. So like 2 months later, I dig it out, I shoot some more. While I'm loading it with the S&B, I noticed that the magazine will sometimes hang up in the mag well. It will actually hit something in the mag well and prevent the magazine from sliding all the way home until you hit it a second time. I'm hoping I still have that video of that, but that caused me to send it in to Remington service people. And I was like, maybe when they take care of this, they'll take a look at the rest of the pistol and they will see maybe why I'm getting these failures to extract as well. Called them up, showed them the video, yada yada yada. I showed them these videos. I showed them these videos of the problem that was happening, which is the rounds, if you seat them in the complete back of the magazine and then you try and insert that magazine into the gun, it will probably hang up on the back of the mag well on the case rim, which doesn't make any sense to me. And so once it hits it the first time, the round kind of shifts in the magazine a little forward, and then the second time you try and insert it, since the case rim of the first bullet isn't slid all the way to the back of the magazine, it will actually go in the second time, which doesn't make sense to me, and I thought it was a service issue. So I called them up, sent them in. What they did was they looked at the pistol, they shot the ammo that I had included with it, and I'm going to quote what they said. Test fired gun using the recommended 124 grain ammo, and the gun functioned fine. This repair is covered by a Remington warranty. That's all they did. They fired the ammo I had included. Apparently they didn't look at any of the videos that I had linked them to, and they just said, well, looks good to me, send it back. And that's what they did. So now I'm frustrated with a gun that's unreliable, that's heavy, that's not fun to shoot, that beats up my knuckle, and that Remington doesn't take care of you if you have issues with it. So, to make this really long story short, which I have not made this a short story, I threw it back in the box, and at this point I was fed up with the gun. So that finally motivated me. That got me over. I knew it was an unreliable pistol, but at this point I was holding on to it with the hope that it would be like a collector's item, or that I would enjoy the ownership of something that was rare and unique. But after that shooting session, I was over it. I didn't want to carry it. I didn't want to have it. Didn't want to look at it. Didn't want to collect it. Put it up for sale. Sold it. Added like $100 to that and went and got that Beretta. So I'm already happier with the Beretta. The Beretta review is coming up soon. But I wanted to give y'all my review on the R51 Gen 2 and my story with it, and why I bought it, the issues I had with it while I had it, and why I sold it. And that way I can close up this chapter and not think about that gun again. Maybe I'll get one used in a couple years for like $150. I don't know. But my enthusiasm for owning one is severely dampened. Even though I think it's a really cool looking gun, and I really hope that they are able to improve on it and come out with a Gen 3 that works. Because I would still like to own one if it would work. But then again, probably not, because I really don't like how they shoot. So that's my review. Thanks, guys. Please like, subscribe. Appreciate you.